Welcome to Intuitive Astrology with Molly McCord. Thank you so much for joining me today as we discuss the astrological energies from January 22nd until January 29th, where we are coming off the powerful influence of the Sun conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, which brings about world-changing developments. And one that has shown up in my neck of the woods is that it is snowing in Florida. Yes, it is snowing in the Panhandle and on the beaches of northern Florida. So global cooling is underway, and who knows what else will be coming up with these weather modification systems. But we have certainly entered a new era after the Sun conjuncts Pluto in Aquarius. We have new bizarre developments and unexpected experiences. So on that note, this would be a good time to check in on what is powerfully changing for you, because this is a new energy. The conjunction occurred January 21st at 1 degree 41 minutes of Aquarius in your chart. And the Plutonic energy brings about an ending, a destruction, a completion of one version so that the next version can rise and develop. Now, we can see this through the developments of TikTok. Of course, social media is an Aquarius energy, and TikTok was shut down for a short amount of time overall, but that was version 1.0 of TikTok. That was Pluto ending that initial experience, and then the next developments that come about, however TikTok is now experienced, is in version 2.0. Which will be different in some way. Now, this could mean that the app can get better and improve. This could mean that, wow, something was lost. It isn't the same. It doesn't go back to what you previously experienced. I'm using this as a case study of how the Sun and Pluto work together through a conjunction to make permanent changes. It was also interesting what was revealed from some of the TikTok influencers who thought the app was shutting down. They were revealing that what they were posting wasn't real, that their workout routines were not what they truly practiced, or they would make coffee or do something, but they never consumed it, or it was never their real life. So here comes all the truth, which is Pluto, revealing that what they're posting wasn't real, wasn't honest, wasn't authentic. So that right there is going to shift the experience on the platform and shift what people gravitate towards, especially on social media. So at a more personal level, it would be a good time to look at what is changing within you. What version of energy, what experience, what part of your consciousness is evolving into a higher state and is ready for that rebirth and that higher elevation. That's part of what we're meant to welcome here as we move further into these Aquarius energies and break away from the traditions, expectations, and guarantees that we look for in Capricorn season. So now that we're in Aquarius energy, there is a frequency shift that can happen almost instantaneously, as if you've turned a corner and all of a sudden the energies are more expanded, brighter, and they're coming from multiple directions. One of the phrases I was hearing about this particular energy shift brought me to our third eye chakra and how it now has the capacity to hold more energies, more streams of incoming inspiration and consciousness. And it's being presented as diamond vision, a diamond with multiple angles and perspectives. And I'm seeing this diamond as being a container of multiple timelines and multidimensional convergent zones where all these energies are coming in, and I'm seeing it at the bottom point of a diamond. The base of the diamond is the convergent zone of these incoming streams of energy, and it's at that point that a choice or direction can be determined. And so conversely, you might feel that the energy is expanding out into multiple directions and potentials, and you're looking looking to choose what to focus on, what's a priority, what's important, what's essential. And as we move into more of what the Aquarius energies are gifting us with, we're going to have clear understandings of what is in energetic alignment and what is not. And there's going to be many pivots, many pivot points here where people are going to say, I don't want that anymore. That doesn't resonate. I'm not interested. I'm going over here. This is what I want. This is what matters. I'm also feeling this as being directly related to our value shifts and changes. And this would relate to how Aquarius is ruled in modern days by Uranus, and that Uranus energy in Taurus has been creating a shakeup in what we thought we wanted, what we thought was important, and bringing our attention to wild new potentials that we never thought would be possible. And so there are value shifts here that are coming up within us, and those value shifts are steering us into new directions. And I feel it like slicing decisions. Like it's just really clear, like slicing that cake or slicing something in a way where the energy just moves very smoothly and effortlessly and gives you an understanding of what matters to you now and what doesn't. That's also part of a significant timeline shift that we've had since the sun was conjunct Pluto on January 21st. And keep in mind that whatever you focus on, whatever your belief system is at this time, is what's going to manifest and create for you. It's going to determine your experience. So if you think it's the best of times, you're correct. If you think it's the worst of times, you're correct. If you are neutral and you don't care, you are correct. You are creating your reality based on what you believe, what you want, and what your values are. And not only is that your experience, but it relates to your responsibility of your energy. So what do you want to create? Because now in the 5D, these realms are open. I mean, I'm seeing that there are so many more 5D high vibrating frequencies now alive within us that you're choosing your path here. So choose it intentionally and consciously. If you go down into the denser, heavier energies, notice how you feel. Notice where your emotional body goes, your mental body. Notice what comes up within you, and then make a choice. Is this what you want to focus on? Is this what you want to participate in? Because part of these gateways that are opening up and expanding are taking us into new realities that we have to keep choosing. We have to keep choosing this because there's always going to be something pulling at us in the 3D. There's always going to be even the previous versions of ourselves chiming in and giving some opinion or weight to a previous version of yourself that perhaps you're moving away from, or you've learned a lot from a certain version of yourself and now you're going on a different course or you're choosing a different path. You could feel that you're being pulled back into previous conversations. I'm seeing it especially mentally, previous belief systems or previous parts of yourself that were really comfortable for a while. They were very much your experience of your energy. And what is opening up for us is much wider and bigger. And you're meant to move forward in a way that supports what you want in these higher frequencies, and to notice that even though a part of yourself is potentially anchored and grounded in a 3D form, it's like these overlapping timelines that we're constantly moving between. Keep in mind that your higher state, your multidimensional, more expanded 5D consciousness is really here to lead you forward, is here to open up the next level, the new possibilities in the 3D, because part of this experience is bringing those higher frequencies into the 3D reality. And that's where the energies then permanently change on the planet as well, because then we're flooding the systems with the higher frequencies, the higher consciousness, and it creates dramatic shifts and movements in the 3D structures, realities, and experiences. So part of what we are learning to navigate is how our higher consciousness is guiding us, but it's in very different ways, in very new ways that could be foreign to you, that you're learning to trust and just go with. And a part of you could say, I don't understand what this is. I don't know what's happening. I just feel different. I feel an energy has shifted for me. I'm aware of a change. I understand what's going on, but I don't quite grasp how it's coming about, how it's working. All I know is that I'm moving towards it. And frankly, that's a great way to work with these energies, is to go with where the energy is the strongest for you and to not limit yourself at this time. Now, with this energy picking up, especially as we move towards the Aquarius New Moon and Uranus stationing direct at the end of this month, there are going to be breakthroughs here and changes. Again, quick pivots, quick changes, things that you slice out of your life or that you're ready to open up and move into wholeheartedly. There are going to be fast-moving developments coming about. And I also feel that there's a new alignment with understanding that the best things for you can show up and unfold in multiple ways. It's not just one linear experience. Because again, going back to this diamond vision and seeing the different sides and angles of a diamond, how it has those multifaceted colors and energies and orbs of light, it's connecting you to the many ways you can proceed and to not be stalling out or limiting where the energy can flow. If you choose door 1, this will happen. If you choose door 2, this will happen. Door 3, door 4. So if you're in that frequency of there are multiple ways the best path can show up, then you're really playing with universal spiritual laws and the co-creation process, and you're allowing the shifts and changes to always be in your best and highest good. So open up this pathway for yourself. And again, I'm seeing it as the bottom point of a diamond connecting to the third eye chakra. And what it does is it expands open those frequencies and the vision that allows you to access multidimensional potentials. So I hope that feels good. I hope that lands in a way that you can really integrate it, especially into your heart, your self-worth, your self-value, even dropping the energy all the way into that root chakra so that you feel grounded and safe in this knowingness that there's multiple ways the universe can direct you and move with you to these next levels, to this next manifestation that is based on what you've shifted, what you have shifted in your own consciousness that now you want to magnetize and call in. So yes, I'm feeling this as very powerful energy here that's really clear. And keep that in mind that the universe works in a very clear, pure, and smooth manner, especially after we've cleared out a lot of karma, density, wounding, emotional imprints. We're clearing the path. And we've cleared the path, so now things come in quickly. Now things arrive very fast. And then look at your own patterns, observe your own mind. If something shows up out of the blue and you have, let's say, a 24-hour manifestation that blows your mind and you're like, how did this happen? Observe your mind. Observe the messages your mind is giving you, or even what your emotional body is giving you, because it can be challenging the manifestation. It can be pushing back or resisting the manifestation because you haven't had this experience before. And essentially, that's what we're in now. We're in experiences we haven't had before. That's this new playground. That's what's been being prepared as well. So you're in a space where things are going to come together quickly, smoothly, gracefully. How do you receive that? How do you allow that to be a part of your reality now? Because it is up to you to determine how you interact in this new energy field. You can push it away. You can resist it. You can deny it. You can say no, thank you. We have free will. You can do anything you want. But in this particular playground of energies, how are you also welcoming in perhaps what you've been wanting or manifesting, what you've been working towards? Now as it shows up and is part of your reality, how do you ground it in and realize I'm worth it? I deserve this. I want this. I celebrate these manifestations. I celebrate and own these developments. So keep in mind that that will be a very important part of this new energy field, is how you are able to receive, own, and ground in what you want without the mind or emotional body or fear body overtaking or diminishing what is yours. And so that is part of what we're moving into, especially after that Sun conjunct Pluto. Keep in mind that that conjunction will be happening in Aquarius for the next 19 years. And so there's going to be parts of yourself that will continue to evolve in your own consciousness and again, pull things in faster at a rapid speed, because that is the purest form of energy in the universe. Now, after laying that groundwork, let's take a look here at what's going to be unfolding as we move through this next week in Aquarius season. On January 23rd into January 25th, there's going to be a lot of activity around 23 degrees. 23 degrees of the earth signs and 23 degrees of the water signs. We have a dance unfolding here that's very important. So I would also call out that 23 degrees of Taurus is an important point over this next week, because that's where Uranus stations direct on January 30th. So if you have planets or points at 23 degrees of the earth signs or water signs, yes, I'm being very specific here, then this is going to be an important week of developments for you. I would only give the orb to 24 degrees. That's it, 23, 24 degrees. So let me describe what's going on here. We have Uranus hanging out at 23 degrees of Taurus, and in comes Mars retrograde in Cancer at 23 degrees. And this Mars will sextile Uranus January 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Mars interacting with Uranus through this sextile is breaking Mars retrograde in Cancer out of whatever he's been emotionally spinning in. And this is where it's like, if there's something that you feel has been circling the drain, if it's been pulling you in a downward spiral, Uranus comes in and stops it, plugs it, and says, you got to stop this. You got to simplify it. You're spinning here in this emotional residue. It's time to see it from a higher perspective. And Uranus in Taurus brings in a bigger understanding of what really matters and how you want to use your energy. Uranus is looking for a new approach, a higher understanding that is also self-loving, kind, and self-affirming. Now, they're both retrograde as this sextile occurs, so the energy is more internal and personal, but this can be a reframe of a situation and an experience. Uranus is going to offer a new viewpoint to consider and be aware of. And then we have in the mix Mercury in Capricorn arriving at 23 degrees. And this Mercury in Capricorn will then trine Uranus retrograde and oppose Mars retrograde. So Mercury in Capricorn brings in the declaration, the announcement, the strategy. This is what we're going to do. This is where we're going to go. This is what is important to take care of. And this Mercury opposes Mars, which is a disagreement, which is pushback. We're not on the same page. We want different things. This isn't working. But because Mercury is trining Uranus retrograde, there's a sense of then finding a different approach or solution that can be used. So there's some type of redirect here that is occurring. It's an emotional redirect, a new perspective, a cleansing from the past, and Mercury in Capricorn wants things to move ahead. So what do you need to let go of? Where do you need to plug the drain, stop the waterworks, do a transition here that ultimately is in alignment with what matters going forward? Because this Mars retrograde in Cancer is really in the past or really circling in something that he hasn't fully processed, he can be overly consumed with what was instead of grounded in what is. What is in the present, what does matter at this time. And after this conversation unfolds, then Venus in Pisces enters the conversation on January 25th, where she trines this Mars retrograde in Cancer at 23 degrees and also makes a sextile to Uranus retrograde in Taurus. So all of this is happening at 23 degrees. And when Venus comes in, she brings in what needs to be completed and let go of. Allow yourself to move on. Allow yourself to be compassionate and loving. Venus in Pisces is very much divine feminine energy, where you give yourself a break. You understand your humanness. You did the best you could. That allows you to move on with an understanding that you take the best forward and you leave the rest. You only take what you need, and you don't expect yourself to be holding the weight of something. What are you holding emotionally that it's time to release? It's time to allow yourself off the hook, to let it go, and to be free so that you can be light and also wiser. There's a wisdom that comes about here. And when I see all this dancing of the planets around this degree point, we are reprogramming an experience emotionally, but also in a grounded manner. There is, again, the wisdom that is being learned. There's wisdom that comes from all endings and completions. So what do you take forward? And you set yourself free. You allow yourself to be in greater acceptance and peace. Even though Mars is spinning in the past, since he's retrograde in Cancer, the other interactions are reminding him that life moves on. We're designed to go forward, and allow something to just make you better. Allow it to improve you, mature you, especially emotionally mature, and look for the beauty as well, because there's a softness in these energies. They're very feminine, and they're meant to bring about more self-compassion, self-forgiveness, and internal softness. It could be that when you are alone and in your own personal energy, there's more messages that come through. You connect the dots around an experience, what you were learning, what you were understanding. And as I mentioned at the beginning here of the show, you're meant to move on into this new playground of potentials and frequencies. So there's a need to reconfigure a story, an experience, a situation, whatever it might be for you, into a higher understanding of your self-love and self-worth now. And that's because this Uranus in Taurus is the stronger planet. Even though Uranus is working with Mars, Mercury, and Venus this week, it's Uranus that is making a shift in direction during that station direct, which occurs at 23 degrees 15 minutes of Taurus on January 30th. Uranus is shaking up and shaking off something you've already been through, you've learned from, but now more pieces are arriving. You're connecting more dots and higher understandings, and it's working with the emotional body, the self-love frequency, your mental perceptions. It's reshaping and reforming us. Again, this will be the strongest for you if you have planets or points at 23 or 24 degrees of the earth signs and water signs, because of the beneficial connections that are happening with these 4 planets. Mercury in Capricorn moves on and has a sextile to Neptune in Pisces and the North Node in Pisces at 27 and 28 degrees. That is on January 26th and 27th. Keep in mind, this is a fast-moving Mercury. So when Mercury is sextiling both Neptune and the North Node in Pisces, this opens up a higher understanding of the lesson, the growth, and the closure that is needed. There can also be a sense of hope around what has changed and what is coming to light. So this Mercury is active this week, especially in Capricorn. Then Mercury enters Aquarius on January 27th at 9:53 p.m. Eastern Time. And now that Mercury is in Aquarius, he will then have a conjunction to Pluto in Aquarius on January 29th at 2:52 a.m. Eastern Time. And this occurs right before the new moon. It's in fact part of the new moon energy signature, as that new moon in Aquarius happens at 7:36 a.m. Eastern Time on January 29th. and it is occurring at 9 degrees 51 minutes of Aquarius. I do have a separate video for you on YouTube going through this lunar chart. I do the astrology charts for you every new moon and every full moon. I've been doing them since 2018, so you could always find more specifics on the lunar cycle on my YouTube channel. So we have the sun and the moon conjunct at 9 degrees 51 minutes, and then we have Mercury and Pluto conjunct in Aquarius as well at 1 degree 55 minutes, so nearly 2 degrees of Aquarius. This really brings up powerful breakthroughs, announcements, understandings, and developments here that affect the world at large. At a personal level, you will look in your chart at where you have 2 and 10 degrees of Aquarius, because there are new beginnings coming forth here that can be very exciting, interesting, stimulating, creative. You might have some powerful conversations that seed those ideas, that give you ways of working with information in a new way. There are certainly advancements occurring here, shifts in our thought patterns and in our consciousness, where something comes up and you realize, wow, I never thought of it in that way. Now, with this Mercury conjunct Pluto, the announcements or developments can be quite shocking. They can bring up darkness and dirt. Secrets are revealed and come out. What has been hidden comes to the forefront. So big revelations, and this is wild card energy as well. When we pair this with Uranus stationing direct on January 30th, then there is something shaking up the collective energy field, and it signals more of the new starts, the new era, the new information that we are going to be working with. This can be grand projects, new systems, revitalized systems, collective shakeups and breakups. What we thought was a guarantee or a sure thing falls apart. It's dismantled and crumbles to the ground. There is strong activism and revolutionary energies here. This can bring up rebellion, speaking out, speaking against, a sense of, I need to do something, I need to be a part of something. I know this isn't just about me, but there is a bigger collective change underway. There is a dichotomy with strong Aquarius energy, where yes, it does signify groups, gatherings, teams, collective energies, but it also highlights the lone wolf, being very independent, wanting to do something on your own terms, in your own way, and not wanting to compromise on it. So that's part of the splintering that can come up here with strong Aquarius, is that people will break away from the pack. They don't want to be a part of something that is no longer in alignment or no longer resonates. And so even if you've been connected to something for a long time, you might feel that your energy is splintering off. This goes back also to what I mentioned about slicing the cake. There's something that just comes through. It slices very smoothly and you're out, or you've got a change of direction, a change of path. And that could be the shock, especially if you're announcing it to a group or to a collective of some form. The person you thought would always stay with the company is no longer committed and is going to go do something on their own, for example. The project or idea that you were once really passionate about, you're realizing, I'm not into it anymore. I don't care. I don't want this. And it's just a quick decision and you're done. I mean, this is not the energy of giving 2 weeks, which is customary when you are changing jobs. Yes, we do that, especially for paychecks or perhaps out of professional courtesy. But this is the energy of someone quitting at 4:59 p.m. and not coming back the next day. And keep in mind, this energy is very strong, January 28th, 29th, and 30th. Now, keep in mind, if you are truly attuned to your own multidimensional frequencies, you will always have a pathway, a choice, another opportunity to work with, regardless of what changes and unfolds. This is part of our multidimensional power and understanding that there are unlimited ways for us to proceed and move ahead. So do keep that in mind as we move through this week of Aquarius season, because the energies are coming in fast and strong, and so are the shocking developments. Now, this Aquarius new moon on January 29th is also the beginning of the Lunar New Year associated with the Year of the Snake. This is connected to the cycle of the wood snake, which is also known as the green snake because wood is associated with green in the Chinese 5 elements theory. The 5 elements in Chinese astrology are wood, water, fire, earth, and gold. And this is the first time in 60 years that we have been in the energy of the wood snake. There are previous cycles of other snakes. There's the fire snake, the metal snake, the earth snake, and the water snake. But this is the wood snake, which is the first time in 60 years that we've worked with this energy. So 1965 was the last time we were in the year of the wood snake. The energy of the wood snake is associated with steadfast determination, metamorphosis, creative regeneration, growth, and fortitude, to name a few. The snake is also associated with what is not seen, what moves very slickly and can be quite cunning. The year of the snake brings up what needs to evolve and transform because we are growing out of it and growing away from it. Think of the snake and how it molts, how it sheds its skin. And these changes are related to the energies of earth. So think of finances, career, possessions, money, what you own, and how the wood snake is here to transform those parts of your experience and help you stay the course as you move through these evolving energies. This energy can also be quite happy, charming, and wise, especially as you reflect upon what you've been through and what you've learned. So over this next week, we have some powerful new beginnings, some new awareness that's arriving that could provide you with solutions, insights, and genius breakthroughs that perhaps you've been waiting on and waiting for. There will be a quickening in our consciousness as Mercury enters Aquarius. Again, that happens on January 27th. And hopefully you experience some lovely personal breakthroughs around that Aquarius New Moon on January 29th at 10 degrees. The energies in the collective will continue to be surprising, unexpected, and potentially destabilizing. And yet this is all right on time for the cycle that we're in, as 2025 is meant to bring about big shifts personally and collectively. It does feel like this multidimensional expansion is our gateway forward. So the more you energetically work with that, whether it's expanding it, opening it up, clearing it out, whatever you do, whatever feels right for you to work with your own multidimensional expansion will be one of the best ways for you to navigate the global changes and the powerful shifts that will continue to unfold throughout the year ahead. But hey, this is one of the great reasons to connect with astrology, because you get a heads up, you get the insights and the understandings, and you can see also what is showing up for you more personally. Do keep in mind that you can still register for the 2025 Soul Growth Astrology Program, where I give you the full astrology for the year ahead, all the big shifts and changes of the outer planets and how they will show up for you personally. This includes the 4 eclipses of this year as we approach the first 2 eclipses in March. Plus, there is a thorough understanding of the upcoming Venus retrograde, which coincides with the Mercury retrograde, and then what to expect as we move through each month of the year. So this is a great resource for you to see what 2025 has in store for you, how to get a heads up, how to work with the energies, and how to know what parts of your life are going to be changing. So please check that out. I'll put the link below the podcast episode here, as I hope it helps you plan accordingly for this year and the wild rides of this year. Yes, rides, plural. We're going to be on multiple wild rides. You're at an amusement park. You get off one roller coaster and get back on the other. That's what this year is definitely going to feel like. So I'll be back every Monday and Wednesday for a new podcast episode as we continue to discuss the major astrology of our times. Please be sure to check out all of my astrology courses over at mollymccord.online. as I have just released the course on the North Nodes changing with the North Node in Pisces and the North Node in Virgo, as well as the upcoming live workshops on February 7th, where we discuss what is permanently shifting for you in Pisces and Aries energies in your chart. So a lot going on. It's a very busy time here in the world of astrology, but I hope all these offerings really support you and your energy. Have a beautiful week ahead. Wishing you a beautiful Aquarius New Moon and beginning point to the Lunar New Year. And I look forward to connecting with you again very soon.